Simone is still killing it on the tennis court, but desperate to find sisterhood. Damon is going to check her about this Lando relationship. And Nico, your time has ended, my brother. What's good, y'all? It's your good sister Erica Vane coming to you right here on Erica Vane TV with another All-American Homecoming video. And in this video, I am breaking down season 2, episode number 6. If you're new here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and turn on your bell notification so you don't miss out on any of my All-American Homecoming or All-American Universe content. We are giving you trailer breakdowns, episode breakdowns, character deep dives, as well as scene studies, and you do not want to miss it if All-American and All-American Homecoming are two of your favorite shows. I'm your good sis, you let her talk TV with, and let's jump right on into it. So the episode opens with Simone on the tennis court, and we find out that she is the player of the week. However, the team is still losing, and losing miserably, terribly, so much so that none of them have any cheers or goodwill or any claps for Simone and her accomplishment. Well, except for little Miss Thea, who y'all love to hate. Thea gives her the kudos, but then also reminds her that, girl, nobody is going to be rooting for you or clapping for you. One, when we're all losing, and two, you have taken up a war against everybody. I get that Simone wanted to try on the mean girl costume. She wanted to step into the Thea role because she hoped to be like Thea in reference to being number one. She wanted to be on top. But it don't fit, so girl, go ahead and quit. Cut the whole mean girl thing out and come back to the sweet, fun-loving Simone that we all know and love. In this episode, Simone is kind of interesting. And by interesting, I really kind of mean annoying. Because she has this idea that she expects everybody to root for her and rally for her, as if she's not a freshman walk on to her tennis team, as if she's not new to this university, as if she is supposed to have, you know, the red carpet laid out for her when pursuing a Black Greek letter organization without being legacy. Like, Simone has so many expectations and so many qualms with so many people, and I'm just like, girl, I need you to take a second and go back within. Think about yourself. I do think that Thea is right about who is going to root for you when, one, you don't like none of these hoes. You done told these hoes you don't like them. And then two, and you're not helping them. And then two, they not winning either. And the fact that Simone is okay or wants to be celebrated for winning individually while being on a losing team says a lot. Because, girl, you can only go but so far on a tennis team by yourself, girl. Like, let's be clear. I struggled with not only the setup of, like, and us learning about this with her tennis team, but then also she decides to pursue membership with Aquila's sorority, and I can't remember the Greek letters right now, so I apologize for that. But she decides to go ahead and pursue that because she's desperate for sisterhood. And I'm just like, girl, what is Nate? What is Keisha? Like, you have sisterhood and you're searching for all this acceptance and validation outside of your Brixton family and outside of yourself, and you're going to always be disappointed by it. She shows up to one of the events late because what? She just decides that she wants to go ahead and pursue this, and Damon picks up this flyer and notices this happening at that moment because she's not getting what she wanted from her tennis team. And when you get into the whole Greek letter organization of it all, that's a whole other beast. Simone decides in this space that she feels entitled to be filled in on information that she missed because she was late. She is entitled to asking a question from another potential perspective and expecting them to tell her the truth as if they're not competing for a very limited amount of spots. She expects to be able to speak to who will be her pro fight if she's able to get online and tell her how they are so raggedy and wrong and all mean girls, when at the end of the day, this has always been about discretion. It has always been about people showing improvement and making an effort. Nothing about what Aquila did by not giving her the actual location of the next event and telling her to work for it and figure it out was outside of what actually happens in real life when you are attempting to pledge these organizations. And as Aquila said, It's because they want to weed out the people who just want to do it for popularity, who just want to do it because it looks cool, who just wants to do it because they want the connections of what's attached to whatever the sorority is and whatever notable members that are in it, versus people who actually want to be a part of it. And Simone, while by the end of the episode she does get an invitation to, you know, pledge and to join and to go through the process, I don't believe that she's 100% in and she really gets what she's signing up for. Or at least I don't know if the creatives and the writers behind this actually showed all that it should take for you to arrive at the decision to do so. Now, I think that they tried to explore this when it comes to the whole Damon thing of it all, and it's interesting how they have Damon and Simone going through similar things in this episode, because he is basically being ignored and dismissed by JR, and then come to find out it's because JR's line brothers want Damon to pledge KEK, but JR doesn't want that because JR wants to keep his fraternity for himself. And Damon, being a little spiteful little brother that he can be at times, which is crazy because JR definitely gives off little brother vibes, he decides to use that against JR and like, yeah, maybe I am going to pledge, even though he knows good and damn well he don't want to. So I do get that they are actually using or speaking to that potential, like, oh, you're not prepared, you haven't researched, you don't really know nothing about the organization, and this is not something that you just pick up and decide to do on a random day. However, I don't feel like they had Simone jump through enough hoops or show enough interest to start to actually get what she received by the end of the episode. And the fact that she decided to read Aquila, I'm just like, that would be a complete and utter no-go in real life. But you know, sometimes people be touched by angels, and in All American Universe, when they decide that things are going to work in the will of a character, it's going to work in the will for the will of the character. I think we've been seeing a very interesting story with Simone this season, and while I still love Mama Down, she is one of my faves. She's not necessarily my fave from week to week in reference to her entitled actions, and we talk about this on live, we talk about this on social media and DMs and everything, so shout out to the tribe. But Simone does not miss a beat of reminding us, y'all, that she is really from Beverly Hills. She has a little bit of entitlement to her. And every so often, you really get to see how she was able to make a relationship last with Jordan Baker for so long, because they are a lot alike when it comes to the entitlement. Now, I'm trying to figure out if I want to go to the last thing I want to talk about with Simone now, or if I need to go ahead and say everything else and then circle back, because she really pissed me off when she spoke to Damon at the end of the episode. I understand establishing healthy boundaries and being clear on where you stand, but then I also understand what projection is and not actually speaking to the task or the issue at hand. I think that Damon was not coming to her romantically, was not coming to her inappropriately and speaking about some shady dealings that Lando did. And be clear, y'all, Lando not only leaked the video of him practicing with Hawkins prior to him transferring, but apparently he had been recording Hawkins' practices in general. So those are more than just that. And I'm trying to figure out now if it's because he knew he was coming to Brixton because Damon was going to Hawkins and he wanted this information to be able to provide to the team to make sure that they could beat them, which is still shady. So many people in the comment section as well as on my live in the chat were just like, Lando don't owe Damon nothing. He don't have no loyalty for him as he should. And this isn't even about that. I think what Damon is speaking to is the type of person that Lando has shown himself to be time and time and time again. And while y'all are fooled and swooned over the clear skin and the beautiful smile, I'm still looking at dude's side eye, because I don't trust a jealous person, I don't trust a thief, and I don't trust a person who seems very much so capable of abuse. And if you all three, that's the worst. But Lando is at least one. He is a jealous person. And while he is treating Simone right and sowing good seeds and good words into her as of now, I believe a person with a serious jealous spirit and negativity in their aura won't just do that to one person. So right now, Damon is the op. What happens when Simone don't fall as hard as he does, as he falls for her, and now she wants to cool it? That jealousy, that negativity, that do anything to win or get the upper hand or get your lick back, that's going to come out and it's going to be directed towards her. And I will, yes I will, be the one to tell y'all I told you so. Y'all gotta be a little bit more careful with y'all's perceptions of people's auras. Go back and watch my live so that y'all can see the real life example that I equated this to, because that is very much so real. And y'all gotta be a little bit more protective of yourselves and y'all body parts. But I digress. Simone, I need you to get it together, girl. I need you to get it together. If you and Lando about to do this relationship, then okay, cool. But also, let's not start to think or watch Damon and Thea and feel away. See Damon and have feelings develop more and more and more and feel away. And instead of you actually voicing them, even if you don't voice it to him, instead of you voicing them, dealing with them, journaling them, doing whatever, you decide to overstep and over declare boundaries that you actually don't need. Because if it's one thing that Damon has done, is really did a good job, except for the little spin and the turn of the dance, y'all, which caught him off guard, and it was a very emotional time for him, period. He has been a person to very much so respect boundaries. So like, let's not go there, especially not now. Moving on. What else happened in the episode? Okay, so going back to Damon, KEK, and JR. JR is another one. Y'all know it has taken a while for me to get off of JR's neck, because he also very early on gave me snake energy. And time again, he showed himself to be slimy and showed himself to be shifty, very insecure. And that started to reel its ugly head in this episode. And I get it. He goes, by the end of the episode, he does explain like, okay, you suck up all the oxygen and you don't mean to. Everything becomes about you, and I want something to be about me. And I get that, but also he could have used his words from the beginning. Time and time again, JR could be the big brother and he chooses to be the little brother, and it just really chaps my ass, y'all. I really hate to see it. We spent the whole episode with him basically showing off this prospect at the fraternity house, and then the moment that Damon shows up, he gets in his jealous, insecure, super ridiculous bag, protective of this thing, when he could have just told him what it is and what it wasn't. Decides to challenge him to this drinking game, challenge him to baseball, and then when they get on the damn baseball field, that ain't working. He can't embarrass him in that way, so then he tries to run up on him, and I'm like, go ahead, JR, you can run up and get done up if you want to. Jordan got that little sucker punch off, but it gives me that Damon is a Chicago player. You will get your ass beat. Point blank, period. By the end of the episode, y'all, again, JR reveals all of what he was thinking and feeling. Damon don't want to pledge. He just didn't like the idea of JR not wanting him to. And it's just like, both of y'all need to do a little bit more communicating, but more so on JR in this moment. And then they're also able to resurrect the failed visit to bring in that new recruit. Now, the biggest thing about the new recruit, I believe his name is Jeremy, is that he's the one who reveals to Damon about Lando recording practices and things like that. And a lot of y'all are saying, we don't know if we could trust that, and it's he said, she said, yada yada yada. I'm gonna go ahead and take it as this is the truth, because this recruit would have no reason to lie. If he does have a reason to lie, we won't see it until next episodes. Not even next week's episode, but episodes in the future. Now, in other news, Nate is trying to be a supportive girlfriend as well as a stand-up person on campus, as Nico is student government president and planning the Black History Month assembly that they typically do. But it is a snore fest, because what? He is doing the same things that has been done, and Nate has ideas that Nico don't want to hear. And you know what? I hate this for Nate in reference to having to experience this. However, this is the moment, this is the time that she decides to stand up for what she thinks, to still pursue after being shut down, and allow for the other student body administrators, I'm not sure what these other student officers, that's what they are, student government officers who, you know, wanted to hear her ideas and thought that they were really great ideas, to push her forward. And she does not step aside, she does not step back, she does not let Nico dim her light. And by the end of the episode, she is forced to break up with Nico because he is so taken aback by how brightly Nate shines. And I think that they did a really great job with this storyline in this episode of showing what it looks like when you're not as equally yoked as you could be in a relationship, and when one person is jealous of the other, and it not mattering how much that person loves this person or would give up anything for this person or would do anything for this person. There's some things that are so internal and ingrained and problematic within ourselves, and if we don't deal with it, we will ruin any relationship that has come to help heal and push us forward. And that's exactly what I think Nico is experiencing. Nico has taken quite a bit of actions to draw attention to himself in the episodes that we have seen him this season and kick up dust. And I feel like, again, that is all because he really wants attention. He really wants shine. However, he's not one of the brightest bulbs, and he is a person who's going to try to do as much as possible to get the light, but not realize how much of himself he's not bringing to it. So also part of it is like, maybe Nico would shine brighter if he would actually be himself and not be an asshole. And to see Nate just be able to shine so brightly and all she is doing is just being her authentic self, I could see how that is a struggle thing, to be in partnership with that person and to literally lay next to, kiss and hug on something that you could never be. And not specifically like Nico wants to be Nate. I think that Nico would love to be as authentic, to be as loved, to be as open, to be as flexible and experimentative and thought as Nate. And he ain't there yet. I don't know if he's ever going to get there. But one thing I do know is that after Nate breaks up with Nico, we are probably going to see more hell to pay, more menacing, because Nico, if y'all recall, is also the reason why we don't have family dinners at Auntie Amara's anymore. But a win is a win. We got rid of Nico. Nate is moving on and knows her worth. And the only thing about this storyline that bothered me is that they used it to spring Auntie Amara into a whole know her worth arc. And while everything that she said was 100% true, Zeke's wife died. So it's not like he's hiding her because he doesn't value her or doesn't want to be seen with her. He is struggling to move on and struggling with this being the first relationship he's had since his wife died and he became a widow. So while I understood what Auntie Amara is saying about not wanting to be hidden and realizing that she's a prize and all that, I do feel like she's a little bit premature in ending their relationship, because at the time that she decides to do so, he also is like, you know what, it's not about Keisha will love this, and is ready to start to take the steps to move forward and be public, and she's just like, yeah, no, I'm out. So I'm very interested to see what's finna happen with Auntie Amara. And while again everything that she said sounded good, I don't know if we can take it at face value and if it's not something else going on with her internally as well. Now, before this video ends, we're gonna have to talk about little Miss Thea, who has hooked up with little raggedy ass Rome and has been getting cortisol shots, and he's trying to push another one on her because she's trying to make it back onto the field, onto the court, and her coach is already talking about redshirting. If you don't know what this is, I did talk about this on the live, which is why y'all can't miss it. Subscribe so you don't miss out when I be breaking down things and dropping gems, okay? Anyway, a red shirt is basically when you, prior to a season, you can declare a red shirt, and that would basically put a pause on your eligibility. So you will not lose eligibility because you will not be playing, you won't be competing, but you can still travel with the team and you can still practice with the team. You just cannot competitively compete. And basically how it works with the NCAA, you get 4 years of eligibility, and if you play in one game and get hurt, or not one game, if you play in like 2 games, I think it is, and get hurt very early on in the season, like you have a certain amount of time once the season starts to be able to declare red shirt. And you could play 2 games, playing 2 matches and get hurt, and then you will still lose that year of eligibility, which again, you only get 4 years of eligibility when you are a collegiate athlete. But if you red shirt, then you will still get that year to be able to do the following year. And basically, Thea is struggling with the idea of having to sit out an entire year and come back next season. However, I think that probably would be the best bet for her. One, she is a sophomore, so aside from, well, she's a sophomore, Keisha's a sophomore, I believe Nate is a sophomore, and JRs are all sophomores. One, you are in a relationship with a freshman. So if you want to keep this thing going and y'all plan to be here for a while, then girl, you will wind up graduating before him anyway. If you go to grad school, you could still play tennis and you will be like in line with that whole timeline. 2, it would give you plenty of time to heal, and you will not be rushing to have these cortisone shots that could potentially cause further harm that's going to be permanent. Let's not be short-sighted. We are collegiate athletes right now. You are at the top of this collegiate game on this collegiate team, but your destiny, your goal is to be a pro player, which means you want to be playing for the next 15 years, Thea. You can give up 1 year to be able to play for the next 15 to 20 years of your life, honey. Let's stay focused, okay? You making it back onto this Brinkston tennis court right now ain't that big of a damn deal, honey. This is the perfect time for her to actually give herself a break, because we know Thea to be the girl who has been focused on tennis pretty much all of her life, probably since like age 4. This is the one time that you can actually get a break. You have a boyfriend. You've never had a boyfriend before. You can actually develop a social life on your terms, not rushing it, not overdoing it, but actually allowing yourself to be present and enjoying and heal. And nobody will be stopping you from training. You redshirting wouldn't stop you from practicing. You redshirting wouldn't stop you from training. So like, let's go ahead and consider it. However, little Miss Mamas is already like, hell no. So then by the end of the episode, she's done telling Rome no, who keeps popping up all like willy-nilly. Like, when did the drug dealers start chasing the supposed junkies? Not that Thea is a junkie, but I want y'all to get the visual, right? Like, he is like mad pressed for her to take this damn cortisol shot. And I'm like, girl, if she injects a shot, does it fix your arm? Does it fix your leg? Like, what the hell do you want with her? Boy, go do something with yourself. This is exactly why. Like, I know, but I kind of knew. My intuition told me that something wasn't right. When Simone kissed his ass at New Year's and all y'all was up in arms and y'all was like, yes, girl, go ahead. Hot girl, winner. Do your thing. I knew something was wrong with him and his spirit, and I knew that he wasn't right. And I hated that Simone graced her lips on this little crusty ass lips. Hate that for her. The way this boy ran Thea down on multiple occasions trying to force this shot on her disgusts me. And then unfortunately, after having a red shirt conversation, she decides to go ahead and take it. Now, what I will say, Thea, this is probably going to be a problem for you and Damon, y'all's relationship. I know in the preview, she all in her Savage X Fenty and she looking real sexy and she ready to take it to the next level. But the moment that Damon finds out that he told your ass not to worry about this cortisol shot, to go get acupuncture, to go do some holistic stuff, and to take your time in your recovery, and you still do it anyway, oh yeah, he gonna have nothing but smoke for you. And I'm totally here for it, because the way that y'all are able to check each other and hold each other accountable is one of the most beautiful things about y'all's relationship. So every bit of this smoke and dust that he about to kick up, you deserve. You better receive it. And with that said, y'all, I think that is it. Let me know if I missed anything in the comment section down below. Those are all my thoughts for episode number 6, season 2 of All American Homecoming. It's your good sis you love to talk TV with. Like the video, you made it all the way to the end. I know you liked it. Stop playing. And if you're not subscribed, then you should know you need to go ahead and subscribe. You done watch 20 minutes of this video. Subscribe. We friends. See you in the next one.